It was supposed to be a joyous day. Doraemon was invited to the 6th reunion of the Robot Babysitter Academy. Everywhere he turned, there were robots, just like him, except they were bright yellow, had their ears intact, and didn't look anything like a defective model. Among them was Doraemon, as a star graduate who had been awarded for taking care of the Prime Minister's child. Everyone admired him. Even Doraemon couldn't help but be impressed. But admiration quickly turned into humiliation. Doraemon publicly mocked Doraemon for being the worst-ranked student in the academy. A failure. A malfunctioning robot who should have been scrapped. The laughter stung. And, for the first time in a long while, Doraemon felt truly small. Trying to prove himself, Doraemon challenged Beemon, as if on cue. A child nearby lost his balloon, which floated high into the sky. Beemon, able, without hesitation, activated his butterfly wings. They soared upward and returned the balloon effortlessly. Doraemon fumbled through his pouch, desperately searching for a gadget. But by the time he found anything, the moment had passed. The crowd had already declared the winner. Beemon walked off, tossing back one final remark that Doraemon should return to the repair factory. It's not even for your own good, he said. It's for the child you're supposed to be taking care of. Doraemon clenched his fists. He didn't believe Beemon. Hell, he believed Nobita needed him. But Beemon's words lingered back in the human world. Nobita was once again being scolded by his mother. Another 0 on the test, and this time, she was serious no allowance until every bit of his homework was complete. Terrified, Nobita rushed to find Doraemon. Now only to remember, Doraemon was away at the academy reunion. Now left with no choice. Nobita opened his notebook and started doing his homework on his own. Back at the reunion, Doraemon saw someone unexpected, Nora Miyako, and his ex-girlfriend. Embarrassed, he tried to hide. He didn't feel like he belonged here. As others chatted, Doraemon sat alone on the swing set, unsure whether Nobita was doing his homework or just getting into more trouble. Meanwhile, someone else was watching. The director of the Babysitter Robot Corporation. He had been tracking Doraemon for a while, and now he made his move. He ordered the immediate recall of Unit 990 Ampere Doraemon's serial number. As Doraemon wandered alone outside the venue, a robotic crab emerged from the shadows and ambushed him. He tried to run, but it was no use. As he was dragged away, Doraemon etched a strange symbol into the dirt, his last message to the outside world. Elsewhere, Nobita was preparing for Doraemon's birthday. Though Doraemon always insisted he didn't like birthdays, Nobita still wanted to surprise him. He broke open his piggy bank, scraped together what little money he had, and went out to buy a gift. Shizuka and the others noticed him. When they heard he was buying a birthday present for Doraemon, they were touched. Nobita then told them why Doraemon hated birthdays. Years ago, and on the 3rd of September, 2012, Doraemon had been born on a production line like any other robot. But during his activation, the lightning struck the facility. Something went wrong. A vital screw came loose. Ever since that day, Doraemon had always lagged behind in training. His classmates teased him. Even after graduation, it took years before anyone wanted him. He was rejected until Suashi chose him. But now, Doraemon was missing. Dorami and Sewashi appeared and revealed the shocking truth Doraemon had been kidnapped. To involve the authorities, they needed Nobita's signature. The police confirmed there had been a string of robot kidnappings in recent weeks. Some said the stolen robots were being sold to alien buyers. Others whispered they were being wiped clean, reset, and resold as blank slates. Funny still, Nobita refused to believe Doraemon couldn't fight back. He has so many gadgets, he argued. But Sawashi shook his head. Once a robot's brain circuit is reformatted, everything's gone. Every memory, every emotion, every bond. And was the final push. Nobita decided he would save Doraemon himself. Dorami handed out communication watches. The group split up. Some went to question Doraemon's former classmates, while others investigated local arcades where black market dealers were known to gather. Meanwhile, Doraemon awoke on a cold metal table. The director stood over him and declared his intention to rebirth him on his birthday. Everything Doraemon's data, half his personality. His memories would be overwritten. You should have never been sent to care for a child. The director said, "This is your second chance, with just 4 hours until midnight." Nobita and the group discovered Doraemon's scratch-coded message etched into the dirt where he was taken. They also found his air cannon nearby. It was real. He had tried to fight back. Dorami used the time television to rewind events, but someone had blocked the footage. They only caught a glimpse of Doraemon's hand before the recording was cut off. Elsewhere, Jian and Suneo stumbled upon a suspicious woman seen in a news report. She carried a black bag and slipped into a hidden facility. Was this the base of the kidnappers? They followed. Meanwhile, Doraemon was down to 2 hours. He was paralyzed, strapped to the table. If he didn't escape soon, it would all be over. The group received news from Jian. They had found the enemy base. Dorami warned them not to engage. But before she could finish, the signal went dead. Nobita, without hesitation, led the charge. Inside the warehouse, the group was captured one by one. But just before things turned dire, as a surprise ally appeared, Bemen. It turned out that despite his harsh words, he had been secretly tracking Nobita to protect him. Thanks to Bemen's tip, the police stormed the warehouse and rescued the kidnapped robots. All except one, Doraemon. Eventually, using Doraemon's coded message, they traced his location to the Matsushima Robot Factory, an off-grid facility run by the same director. There, Doraemon sat still as the reformatting process prepared to begin. But his mind wandered. He remembered being abandoned by Noramyako after losing his ears. He remembered crying by the ocean. Hey! His tears washing away his yellow paint. He remembered Nobita. In the operating room, the director raised his hand to reset Doraemon. But a voice shouted from behind the door. It was Nobita. Please, Doraemon Bert. Let me see him one last time. The director, unmoved by sentiment, paused, but he allowed Nobita to enter inside. Nobita broke down. Doraemon wept. Till they held each other's hands through the cold metal restraints. Maybe starting over will give you a better life. Nobita whispered, even if it means forgetting me. But the director couldn't press the button. Moved by their bond, he lowered his hand. For the first time, he realized that maybe, just maybe, robots didn't need to be perfect to be valuable. Maybe the missing screw wasn't a flaw. Maybe the one truly broken was himself. And Doraemon was saved. They left the facility in silence, walking side by side under the night sky. At home, Nobita presented Doraemon with a slightly squashed dorayaki, the only birthday gift he could afford. Doraemon took a bite, smiled, and said it was the best one yet. And then he glanced at Nobita's notebook. Not a single word of homework had been written.